Hello there, woodworkers, people of interest. Today we have a marble roller. I made it about 10 years ago. And because I got more grandkids now in other states, I wanted to make another one. The piece that is really important are these little 180 turns, and they're one piece, a routed out dado, and that 180 piece. You can see them over here. So with this marble roller, you take the marbles and you feed them over here. It goes into this hole. They roll around and they come out the bottom. The kids just play with these things for hours on end. So 10 years later, I couldn't remember how to make those how I made those little 180 routed turns. CRS syndrome. So I started playing around with the bandsaw and cutting some littler pieces, like put them together, maybe some 1/8 inch plywood and glue it together like that, and then cut it out. And then I started to remember, the CRS started to fade, and I kind of remembered how I did it. Now, there's these types of tools that you can mount to your router and make circles with it, but when it gets to that small of a circle, which is about 3 3/4, this thing isn't very reliable, and it's kind of dangerous actually. I don't like doing dangerous things with the router. I was using a 3/4 inch flat bottom bit on my router, so I didn't want to go this route, and that's not how I did it before. I definitely remembered that. So playing around, going through all my router stuff and my routers, I found this plate I had made that mounts onto my router. And then I dropped this in my router table. I had drilled some holes because I was using a 1/2 inch flat bit, so I could take this out and put it here and route the inside curve, and then put it back here and route the outside curve. And it works really good. So what I ended up doing was I got some alder and I planed it down. I cut them to about 5 inches square, and I planed it down to about 0.9 of an inch, 7/8 of an inch or so. And then I took those two pieces once they were kind of squared up, and I took some double stick tape, taped them together, because I wanted to have something to hold on to when I turned it. I didn't want to just have that piece and that router bit just millimeters from my fingers, so this way I had a piece here to hold on to while I turned it. So I found the center hole, or the center point, on these square blocks, and with a Forstner bit drilled a 1/4 inch hole about 3/4 of an inch down. Now that 3/4 inch hole fits over that dowel, and then when the router bit's up, I can sit and turn it. And I would raise my bit about 1/4 inch at a time, rather than try to take 3/4 of an inch out of there at once. it would have destroyed the wood, but so about 1/4 inch of it at the time, each pass. So put it on here, 1/4 inch deep, turn it, took it, flipped it over, did the same thing to the other piece, turn it, flipped it over, and just kept going, kept dropping it each time, 1/4 inch, until I had about a 3/4 inch deep route. So once that was done, I took my compass, I don't know if you can see it, and drew about an 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch. That's probably more like 3/16 of an inch circle around there, and then on the inside as well. Put that on the bandsaw, and this is with the outside cut. Cut the outside out. And then I cut this whole piece in half after I undo the sticky tape. I have 2 of these, so I cut the outside of both of them. Then I cut it in half, and I end up with a piece like this. And then I have that inner circle to cut out. The hole in the middle ain't going to matter because that's going to be cut out anyway. So the end piece is this little guy. This is what it's all about right here. And I noticed there weren't many videos on YouTube showing how to cut this, something like this out, especially a 3 3/4 inch diameter route. So this was pretty cool to do. So this is the same piece that, you know, sits here. So on the uprights, you can see I've notched them out everywhere there is a 180 turn. I've notched that upright out. And that way I can glue the straights to the 180 turns in that notch. It makes it real stable. Real stable. So we can play around with it a little bit. But this plate is what it was all about. Make a plate for your router. This is like 1/4 inch wood I planed down. I believe it's alder, and mounted it with the screws to the router. I determined my centers for my radius and my diameters, drilled some 1/4 inch holes here for the pegs. So in this case I just used one peg with a 3/4 inch flat router bit, and it did the trick. And now I can make another one of these super loopers. Send it to my son in Texas, and his grandkids, all 6 of them, can sit there for hours on end playing with the marble rollers. So let's do it one more time here. Thanks a lot. We'll see you later.